Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, July 18th, 2024. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. An initial needs assessment carried out on the financial impacts of people as a result of Hurricane Beryl puts it at an estimated $50 million. This was revealed by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves during a statement in Parliament today, where he updated the nation on his government's plans and interventions made post-Hurricane Beryl.
The impacted portfolio would be approximately $50 million, $49.2 million, or 5% of the total exposure. The exposure from Beckway, 309 exposures. The impacted portfolio, $6.8 million. Canawan, 168 persons with the 100% impacted portfolio, $5.2 million. On Union Island, including Palm Island, 305 persons with exposure of $15.6 million, 100%. 100% impacted portfolio for $2.65 million. And on St. Vincent, the impacted portfolio is 2% of the value of the exposure, which is $946 million, or some $19 million. Those are the assumptions which were made by the bank as to the extent what has come into them.
The New Democratic Party, the NDP, has pledged 100,000 EC dollars in back-to-school bursaries for hurricane-affected children. This was announced by leader of the opposition, Dr. Godwin Friday, at a recent press conference. The opposition leader said they are working towards raising more than $100,000.
Children, parents will start turning to getting their kids back to school, back to their future. So we as a party, we have decided that we will focus in raising funds to create bursaries to assist those students, those children who were directly affected by the hurricane disaster. We have set a target of $100,000, and we are expecting that there will be contributions and donations to that. If we raise $200,000, all the better, because they will go to the purpose intended.
More than a week after Hurricane Beryl caused destruction in the Southern Grenadines, Member of Parliament for the Southern Grenadines, Terence Oliver, who is from Union Island, remains emotional about his harrowing experience. Relating his experience at an NDP press conference yesterday, a visibly emotional Oliver related the outpouring of love between residents of Union Island who came together during and after the passage of Hurricane Beryl that battered Union Island.
Start talking. People who weren't talking together, hugged, squeezed each other, that they were glad to see help, as Union Island is totally decimated. I spent 7 days walking through the constituency from island to island. 3 days in Union Island, 2 days Mairo, 2 days Canawan. Walking the length and breadth of
The Member of Parliament for the Southern Grenadines has been assisting people in the Southern Grenadines as they work together to help rebuild the island. The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, the SVG-TV, is currently investigating a fatal accident that occurred today, July 18th, on the island of Canawan. According to preliminary investigations, the deceased, identified as Sergio Scorano, a 59-year-old carpenter from Italy, was employed at the Soho Hotel on Canawan. Mr. Scorano was reportedly working on the hotel's roof, which sustained damage during the passage of Hurricane Beryl when he slipped and fell to the ground. Police officers were called to the scene and found Mr. Scorano motionless, lying on his left side. He was pronounced dead at the scene by a medical practitioner. A postmortem examination is expected to be conducted to determine the exact cause of death. The RSVGPF extends its deepest condolences to the family and colleagues of Mr. Scorano during this difficult time. The police say further updates will be provided as more information becomes available. A supplementary appropriations bill was tabled in Parliament today by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who gave a comprehensive recovery effort plan for St. Vincent and the Grenadines post-Hurricane Beryl. Included in the plan is a psychosocial intervention for hurricane-affected people, where a return to happiness program will be rolled out, which is expected to start as early as next week. We will have more on the supplementary appropriations bill and plans in a subsequent newscast. 6 persons were apprehended for the daring attempted robbery on the General Employees Corporate Credit Union GECU, which took place earlier this week in South Rivers. Acting Commissioner of Police Envy Williams said they are grateful for the swift action taken by community members to help in the apprehension of the individuals.
With firearms, attempted, open fire, and the police, who were in the immediate vicinity of the credit union, the police returned some fire. And with the assistance of the community, 6 persons are in custody, 4 males and 2 females, assisting the police with that investigation. And again, I cannot overemphasize the tremendous support that the community working alongside law enforcement would have done yesterday in preventing persons who were so brazen during high day time, prevented them from getting away with and moving off with properties that does not belong to them.
Of course, that was Assistant Commissioner of Police Trevor Bailey, who is in charge of the crimes unit in this country. He commended members of the public for working with the RSVGPF. He, however, would like to see an improved relationship with the police, which would help to maintain and improve public safety.
It only goes to show that when the community work with law enforcement, with their friend, the police, and we are the friends of the community, that coupled together, we can achieve a lot of things. And I want to urge other communities who know of criminal activities that is taking place to continue to embrace law enforcement, continue to embrace your local police, share the information with your police. If you share the information, then we have a duty to act on that information. We will act and we will achieve together a lot of things.
With the murder count now at 26, Assistant Commissioner of Police Trevor Bailey could not say for certain what is driving the rage to kill in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Responding to a question on whether killings are as a result of organized crime, ACP Bailey said he was not sure, but pointed out that there is tough rivalry taking place.
Without being specific, we see, well, too specific, we see some instances where tough rivalry is an issue, and we see where retaliation for one crime or another is also present. Yeah, we conduct investigation along all the leads, all angles that we are given, and we follow the leads as they come. It may very well be. It may very well be. Some I'll say yes. Some is territory for selling of drugs. Yeah.
The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, the RSVGPF, has issued a wanted bulletin for laborer Ronaldo Samuel of Green Hill. Samuel, who was recently convicted by the High Court on several counts of sexual offenses, never returned to court at the completion of his trial. The police bulletin stated that he is also wanted for various cyber-related offenses and that of sexual offenses involving a minor. Samuel is 5 feet 8 inches tall, slim-built and dark brown in complexion. The police is seeking the assistance of the public in locating the wanted man. If seen, please contact any police station or Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of crime at telephone 456-1339 or 457-1211 extension 4816 or Officer in Charge CID CRO MCU at 456-1810 or 457-1211 extension 4838 or Police Control at 999 or 911. The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union will support teachers affected by Hurricane Beryl. This commitment was given by President of the SVG-TU, Oswald Robinson, during an interview with SVG-TV News yesterday. According to Robinson, needs assessment of teachers will have to be carried out to determine how many teachers are affected and what type of assistance will be given.
But for sure the union will respond. In our response, we don't want to duplicate efforts because there are certain things you can't get the people if they don't have certain infrastructure in place. You can't send down chicken, case of chicken each family when they know they don't have the power supply for that, right? So there are things that we would want to hear from them exactly what they need, and if it is better to give them the monetary and they decide, probably invite them up.
The Caribbean Union of Teachers has also indicated its willingness to help teachers across the region who are impacted by the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Meanwhile, speaking on the readiness of shelters, the SVG-TU president said that many schools which were used as shelters could not withstand a Category 4 hurricane.
A simple thing like a guttering. A guttering is that which is just under the galvanized roof that collects the water. If you could control that, because all that water comes onto the foundation. If you have poor drainage, that's another problem, right? Based on our collective agreement, the government ought to be inspecting school buildings on a termly building basis. There are certain elements in nature, wood lice, termites, which would impact, especially on wooden structures. So you have to periodically check. It's difficult to control these things, but if you do a periodic check, you may be able to replace and maintain some of these structures, and in that you will be able to mitigate against the impact of hurricane.